Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already, subscribe right now and hit that great big bell icon so you never miss an episode. So I'm going to be discussing these types of guys that you want to be aware of if you're asexual and stay clear of. First of all, if you're new to this channel, you don't know who I am Sandra Burmy, author of this awesome Asexual Perspectives book out on Amazon. So yes, today I got a marriage proposal. OMG. So you might have followed my show last night, and I explained that I'd gone in this, I tried something different, and I got in this group which was for single Indian guys plus divorced and separated guys. But I'm finding a lot of the guys that are contacting me are actually married or already in a relationship, which I will not participate in their cheating and their lies, right? So guys like that, I had one today and he was like, oh yeah, I saw you in the friendship group and I'm looking to to be friends with you. And I'm like, can you please send me a screenshot of where it says that where this friendship group is? Because I don't remember creating a post in the type of, the name of the friendship group that he talked about. And this guy isn't asexual. And so he sent me a screenshot, and it was of the dating group, the group that I went in, where I got 92 Indian guys in my inbox from it. And it's meant to be for single Indian guys, divorced and separated. And so when I looked at this guy's profile, he's married. And I said to him, well, it's not a friendship group. That group is used to look for, it's a dating group used to look for finding a relationship. I see you're already in a relationship. And I can't understand why you'd be in a group like that unless you're cheating. And he's like, oh, and I said, and I won't be part of that. And he's like, oh, no, hee, and laughing. Because I caught him out, and there's a number of guys doing shite like that. Excuse my language, but I think it's disgusting treating women like that. If you don't want to be faithful to your woman, you don't deserve your woman. And I wish you just admit the horrible person you are for cheating on her and just let her go and get a man who's good for her, who doesn't treat her like that. Because I can't stand guys like that. They really disgust me. They really do. And I will not be part of their cheating. Megan, hey Sandra, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I came to share good news. Oh, I love good news. Carry on. I will keep my eyes out in the chat. It's good news. I'm glad it's good news. Please share away. We need some good news. So I'll carry on, and you put your good news down there, and we'll hear all about that as well. So it's really good. Oh, you've got a date next Wednesday. Woo! Megan's got a date. Well done, Megan. I'm so proud of you. That's very, very courageous. Very, very courageous. I'm so proud of you. I hope it goes well. And I hope the person is a good person for you. I really do. I pray they're a good person for you. You're a good person. You deserve a good person for you. I got my food in the oven tonight, actually. I don't usually do that. I usually stream afterwards, but I decided I couldn't wait to stream tonight. Oh, well, congratulations. I'm really proud of you and pleased for you. I hope it goes really well. So thank you very much. I'm super excited. I bet you are. I'm really excited for you. I do miss dating, like in-person dating with a real genuine guy. Is there any out there? But yes, I do miss that. But at least I get to actually be around asexuals at my asexual meetups. But obviously that's not dating, that's socializing with lots of different genders of asexuals. But it's still nice to get out with other asexuals. But yes, I had a guy who was willing to drive to my home. And obviously when a guy talks about driving, are you alone? Do you live alone? Yes. Oh, I'll drive to see you then. I'll come down and, like at the weekend as soon as I can. I'm like, no, thanks. No. Anyway, this marriage proposal, I need to, I'll be going now, but wanted to share with you. That's great. Lots of love, Megan. Well done. Brilliant. Anyway, going back to the marriage proposal. Yes. What's really funny, ironically, is it's not even from an Indian guy. It's from a Bangladesh guy in the Indian group. And I'm like, oh my Lord. So he comes on and he says it's like, I'm from Bangladesh. So I look at the message and it's like, I'm from Bangladesh. And so I said, hi. And he's like, oh, so are you asexual? And I'm like, yes, I'm really asexual. Like I put in the post, I'm not interested in sex and I don't experience sexual attraction. And he's like, oh, me too. Will you marry me? And I'm like, oh my God. And then that was the message, and that was it. And so anyway, I've messaged him back, which I don't even know if he's bothered to read yet, and said, thank you for the offer, but like it says in my post, I do not want marriage. But I'm like, as an asexual people, you've got to be really aware of this. A lot of guys lie, right? He is not likely to be asexual at all. He is probably highly sexual, but he was just checking out if I am genuinely asexual or not. And if not, he would probably have started all this sexual talk to me, right? And he obviously clearly wants a visa, which is why he's saying this shite. Excuse my language, but I have to spell it out to you because asexuals can get really hurt by these people who make up crap. I know I'm swearing, I'm sorry, but I'm getting quite stressed and angry for all asexuals who get treated this way. It's disgusting, right? If I put in my post that I do not want sex and I'm asexual in sexual orientation, getting guys in my inbox and who are trying to phone me, voice call me, video call me, trying to show me their dick, basically, who are married, in relationships and all this rubbish, and guys who are lying. Like I had one guy and he was talking about marriage as well. I said, I'm not interested in marriage. And he goes, oh, me too. I hate marriage. That's why I'm not married and single. Clearly that's a lie. So I've blocked him. Any guy who changes what they say just like that is a liar, right? You just need to get rid of these guys out of your life. It's no good. So basically they change to what you say in order to win your affection, in order to win your trust, in order to just relate to you and do all the rubbish that they do, right? As asexuals, we've really got to protect ourselves as well as being open and honest at the same time. And we have to protect ourselves from people like this who clearly are just after, a lot of the time, the visas. That's what they're after. They don't care how they get it. They just want, for example, because I live in the UK, I get so many of the guys going, where do you live? Where do you live? It actually says I'm British in the poster, right? But it's like, where do you live? Where do you live? I guess I could live somewhere else, but I've specifically asked them, saying, are there any guys in this group that live in the UK? And so, it's just like, as soon as you say you live in the UK, they automatically immediately start talking about marriage or coming to live with you, or, like helping them to get work to get into the country. And it's really disgusting. And don't think that these guys are not in relationships. Some of them will be in relationships as well, which is really even more sad. But I find a lot of them are what they've got single on their profile. A lot of them have got locked profiles as well, so I always get a bit weary about guys who've got locked profiles. The ones that actually friend request me that have got locked profiles, so I can see what their profile is, that's fair enough. If they really want to lock it from a lot of other people. But if they are, if they're locked and they don't even like friend request me, then I'm not interested, because what's the point in pursuing that unless they're going to unlock their profile? I mean, sometimes, occasionally, there might be someone who messages first to see if you actually do want to talk to them and then unlock their profile. But usually the people who unlock their profile and don't friend you are up to no good. They just don't want you to see that they're married or in a relationship or got children. And so that's why their profile's locked, because they're up to no good. But you know what I mean? But this guy blatantly said to me, marriage, and it's like, really? Is this what the world's come to, when people just disregard marriage and a lot of people don't even take it seriously? I think it's disgusting. Like I would never ever get married in the past for anything other than love. And I don't want to get married now. I specifically will never get married, I don't want a guy who's after me for a visa, but a lot of them are. The majority of them are, sadly. And getting them to UK, because it seems like it's a promised land or something, and it's everyone's dream to get into the UK. I mean, the UK is amazing, but how many people do you know who are in the UK that want to go abroad and travel away all the time? If it's that great, for me it is, because I'm not interested in going abroad. I've got everything I need in the UK, but for a lot of people, even when they're in the UK, they're always trying to go abroad and go somewhere else traveling. And I'm like, well, you're never satisfied, are you? But that's human nature a lot of the time. A lot of the time, people aren't satisfied with what they got. You know, and there's no reason you can't strive for more, but you should be happy with what you've got at the same time, you know. And if you've got a relationship, you should be working together with that person in the relationship to improve it, make it better in multiple aspects. If something's lacking and you're not comfortable, or you're too comfortable in it, if you know what I mean, you should be working on progressing the relationship, doing hobbies and interests together, taking courses together, you know, so that you can have some excitement together rather than looking around for other options all the time, you know. And a lot of these guys, you know, they're wanting to, you know, if you're asexual particularly, they'll think you just want a friend and automatically assume you want a friend. So it's like they can get their emotional connection, even maybe romantic connection through you while they're married or in a relationship with someone else, and use you in that way. So you have to understand that this is what some of these people do. Not all of them, but some of them. You know, I have to make it quite clear that if you're a romantic asexual, particularly, you know, you're looking for a romantic relationship. If you are, you know, don't let some person use you, you know, and then be married to someone else and they're building a romantic connection with you. That's not fair on you. You need to be free to be able to get into a relationship with someone else who deserves your love and romance and time and worth, not someone who's encouraging you to cheat with them on their own partner or wife. It's disgusting, you know. So please be aware as asexuals, particularly if you live in a country like the UK, there are tons and tons of people abroad who are trying to get into the UK. They will also try to get you to go to their country, because, you know, if you're in their country, if you're in someone else's country, you don't have security anymore. You're financially reliant on them a lot of the time, and that's how abuse can happen. So be very, very careful of all this type of thing, you know. It's not only coming to your country, they can want you to go to theirs. So they can keep you, for example, as a housewife and have sex with you whenever they want. I know it's quite harsh to say this, but it's true. It does happen. And like me and my friend Sam, best friend Sam, like Sam's in a serious committed relationship now. They've been with their partner for over 18 months. But before they met their partner, they were doing like dating apps for quite a long time. And me and Sam had the same guy message both of us, interested in a relationship with both of us. And this was a foreign guy, and this foreign guy didn't even know that me and Sam knew each other. And this foreign guy be messaging Sam, interested in a relationship with them, and messaging me, interested in a relationship with me. So clearly, and the guy was lying. He was suggesting marriage to one of us and not with the other one. It's just like crazy, saying like, you know, I think one of us he was talking about marriage. The other one, he was saying he doesn't want to get married or some rubbish like that. You know, it's very contradictory. He says something contradictory anyway. And it's like, you know, clearly he's a user. And so, you know, don't think for 1 minute that all people are telling you the truth. Sadly, a lot of them aren't telling you the truth. And I really feel for asexuals, you know. I'm quite like knowledgeable and can see a lot of scams and scammers. And, you know, that's why I try to do this show and try to warn you about these things, because once you start seeing this for yourself, you'll be able to recognize the patterns of it and stop people from hurting and abusing you as much as possible. There's still going to be people out there that try and do that. Some may succeed for a while or for a long time, but hopefully if we can cut it down as much as possible, it's a good thing, you know. But there is absolutely no way I will get married, and I do not want to get married for a visa, you know. If there is any foreign guy who wants to like be with me in a relationship and he's not already in the UK, he will have to make his own way to the UK, get his own visa, get his own job, get his own place to live, like a responsible, mature, young adult, you know. It's like, but I'm quite shocked at how a lot of these Indian guys are like in this group. A lot of them are like, you know, you get a proportion of them that are older, like much older, and they're in relationships or married, and they're just behaving like they're in this group chatting to women online like they're single, you know, or trying to get friendly with other women, you know, so they can have some sort of connection with someone like that in a romantic way. You know, they'll cover it up as friendship, but don't be fooled by this. You know, most sexual guys, heterosexual guys, do not go looking for just friendship with a woman online, right? If he needs women friends, he can be with women in his own country, can't he? You know, and if it's in a actual friendship group, that's a bit different. But like I said, there was one guy who I found earlier was married, and he was talking about me looking for a friend in a friendship group, and it wasn't a friendship group, it was a dating group, you know. But this guy who asked me to marry him, this is on like this was in like the second message or something. He told me he's from Bangladesh, which made me laugh because he's not even Indian. And then I'm like, oh, hi. And then he's like, and I saw he's actually a writer, and he's a writer and author himself. That's what actually intrigued me to talk to him a little bit, because I thought maybe he's a decent actual guy who's got a business head on him. I might get some decent conversation out of him. But no, it was like, are you asexual? Which I've written in my post. And then he asked me to marry him. And it's like, do you know what I mean? It's like, so with this guy, I actually thought he might be decent to talk to, but clearly not. So yeah, but I just want you to be aware of these type of guys, the types of tricks they use. The fact that they, you know, if someone says something about themselves and they just retract it straight away and just tell you the opposite, it's just a lie. You know, it's deception. A person who is genuine will say how they are, will mean what they say, and will not just change like the wind because you don't like something. Like if I don't like something, right, I don't like it, I'm not going to then turn around and say to a guy, oh, I like that, to please him or to get in with him or to make him feel or think that I'm someone I'm not. You know, I don't work like that. And healthy human beings do not work like that. They say, hey, this is how things are for me. And if they want to work on a relationship, they will have to talk about a possible compromise, like what they would feel comfortable with. Do you know what I mean? Not deny that they're like that, you know? A healthy person will say, actually, this is what I'm like. Another person, a healthy person, will say, this is what I'm like. And if you can't meet in the middle because you're just too different, you have to agree to not be together. And not converse. But if you can find some middle ground, that's like how healthy relationships are. Unhealthy relationship is where people are just lying and covering up who they truly are, as they say, worried and scared about what the other person might think or say or do, or they're trying to manipulate the other person to believing them they are someone they're not. You know, these are abusive traits, and you have to watch out for them. You know, and I have a lot of courage in the sense that, you know, like I'm in this group of over 44,000 people, predominantly a lot of Indian guys. And yeah, a lot of them are going to be sexual and a lot of them are going to be wrong. But what I think is disgusting is the amount of that are married and actually in relationships already. They're just pretending basically they're not. And, you know, they're looking for someone else behind their woman's back. I think that's disgusting. You know, I think if you are going to get married, you get married and you honor that marriage. You don't cheat on someone. You know, I just don't understand the mentality of people who cheat. I know people who have taken part in cheating, and I can't understand the mentality of it. I guess some people think it's exciting and want to see other options, but at the end of the day, I don't think they should be married if that's the case. I'm not talking about a polyamorous relationship that's set up as a poly relationship. There's there's open. I'm not talking. There are some people in the group that say on their profile open relationship. So long as their partner actually knows it's an open relationship, that's fine. But I've actually come across some people who put open relationship on their Facebook profile, and it's not really an open relationship. Their partner doesn't even know anything about it. So they've created a Facebook, put open relationship on there just to go around getting other people to have a relationship with them. It's not a proper polyamorous relationship, but a proper polyamorous relationship that's set up like that is different. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about guys that actually are cheating on their wives because they're going after other women in groups, you know, and trying to have private conversation with them, and God knows what they're doing, you know. And it's just disgusting. I don't abide by cheating at all. And these guys are in a dating group, you know, or a dating and relationship group. They're not in a friendship group. If they're in a friendship group, then obviously you could argue they're looking for friends, but this isn't a friendship group, even though one guy said it was to me. See you looking for friends. It's like, that's not what I said. I said I was looking for a relationship, and it's a dating group. So clearly you're cheating on your wife, you know? And so it's absolutely disgusting. I can't abide by it. And I don't like the fact that, you know, some of these people would just say anything, especially if you're in the UK as a woman. Be very, very, very careful, because the majority of guys are literally just after visas. And it's sad. It's really, really sad, you know, that these guys are not strong enough to be able to fathom out how to get to the country themselves and do the work it takes to get to the UK. But a lot of them are lazy. They don't want to bother. They just want a woman to be their doormat for them, basically. And it's sickening. you know, because there are younger guys. I've met 3 guys all in the club that I used to go to, Indian guys. All of them had jobs, you know. All of them were, well, I think one of them was a bit older, but maybe in his late 20s, maybe even early 30s, but the other 2 like were really young, you know. And so you know, they all had jobs, and they all were all from India originally, you know, and they've done, you know, they're over here. It's just like, so any guys who give me the rubbish about, oh, it's so hard to get into the UK, because that's what one of them said to me. You have to help me get into the UK because it's so difficult. It's like, I'm only just, you know, I don't want to have a relationship with a guy who's a stranger for a start. And, you know, these guys just come in your inbox, not, hi, how are you? I really want to get to know you. I just like, get me a job in the UK, or get, you know, I want to come to the UK, get me a job, get me in there, give me a home, feed me. I'm like, no. Honestly, I'm not looking for a baby or to mother a guy. I'm looking for an actual partnership, right? Some people don't seem to know the meaning of the word partnership. You know, partnership is like where you're best friends with each other and you work in partnership to actually build a relationship, maintain and sustain it. And you work as equal partners, and you're a team. You work as a team with equal communication, equal responsibilities in the relationship, you know, equal say in the relationship, you know, and you both want the same type of goals, ambitions and dreams for the relationship, and you want to grow separately but as a whole team as well at the same time. You know, you're not busy looking at other options because you're making the current situation better for both of you. You know, like, there's a lot of people, for example, that go on personal and professional development training courses together. They do the classes together so they can learn and improve and grow their mindset and self together as a unit, you know. And this is so important for self-growth, but also important for the growth of the relationship, you know. And people that are prepared to work on themselves and their relationship at the same time are really good. Clearly, if these guys are going around looking for other women, they are not satisfied enough with their current relationship, or they've grown too comfortable and they're using the woman as basically, oh yeah, I've got you now, so I'll just go around looking at other people, you know, chasing after other women, instead of actually being really good guys and working on themselves and working on the relationship and improving their mindset and improving their personal professional development. You know, this is why it's really important that you find someone for you who's a really good person, who's genuine, down to earth, doesn't always say exactly what you want to hear, but who actually speaks the truth, speaks their mind, doesn't chop and change what they say according to what you say, is very steadfast and strong. You know, I will not say things to a guy just to impress him, because at the end of the day, I don't work like that. You know, if a guy doesn't like me for who I am, that's fine. He's got plenty of other women to choose from in the world, you know, and I'd rather be single and on my own than have that type of guy in my life. So please do watch out for these type of guys, the guys that ask you for marriage, especially when they've just met you, ask you to help them get into your country, ask them to help you get a job. I was once had a guy who I knew in person who knew I liked foreign guys, trying to disguise, like in disguise, trying to help me, but really he was trying to get his brother into the country. And he's like, oh, can you write a letter of invitation for my brother to come over so that he could go out on a date with you, because he hasn't had sex before and he might be suitable for you, might be suitable. But he wanted to set up a business with his brother over here. That's why he wanted his brother in the country, not for my benefit. And so yeah, that was kind of interesting. And yeah, it wasn't good in that way, you know. So there'll be a lot of like tactics like that used to get someone into the UK, and you know, there'll be other places as well, like Australia might be a place they want to get into, Canada, America, you know, any of the kind of like more wealthier, as they're seen as more wealthier countries, you know, and dreamy countries like the American dream or the British dream, you know. And so you have to be very wary of these people, but especially these people, you know, if they see that you're asexual, they could just lie and say they don't want sex either. They're asexual when they're not. I mean, clearly, if someone's just immediately talking about marriage or coming to your country where you don't even know them, then they are clearly just after that. They're not interested in you. And if they're married, don't fall for the lie of, oh, but I just want to be friends. It's like, if you're married and you're in a dating group, you're clearly not just looking for friends, are you? You're just lying. And so, you know, I don't want asexuals to be taken advantage of. I don't want you to be used and abused, right? And, you know, I think it's sad that there's so many people after visas, you know. I know that women can be bad as well. I'm just saying it because I am only attracted to guys, but I know there have been women who have got men to go over to their countries and then been using them. They might I've heard that actually in some cases, some people have told me in private message that they got over to the woman's country and the woman treated them really badly and wasn't even interested in them and pretty much ignored them when they got there. You know, I think other women have been using guys. Some women use guys for money as well. I see even in some dating groups on Facebook that some women who are foreign are just using guys for their money. But I mean, some guys must be very silly if they think women who are particularly in the group constantly posting pictures of themselves semi-naked in sexual positions. I mean, surely they realize that it's just luring them into a chat room or something so they can pay for their online sexual services or give them money or phones or whatever. It's just obvious by the way these women keep showing up in these particular groups all the time, you know, and they do this thing where they go like this and like, I'm so lonely tonight, call me. You know, stuff like this. It's just pathetic. It really is, you know. I just like, oh my gosh, you know. And so many women, so many women do that, and there's so many guys that go, oh, you're so pretty, oh, you're so lovely, and they're like, oh, call me. Oh, I'm so lonely. I need someone to keep me warm. You know, and it's all such sexual games, you know, and I don't want to be part of that. And yes, I have joined traditional heterosexual dating groups, you know, and you could say, well, why are you even in these groups if you're not heterosexual? But there's, you know, this particular group, there's 44,000 plus people in there. Not everyone's, I don't believe, is going to be heterosexual in there. There's going to be some that aren't. And there just may be the odd asexual guy hidden in there somewhere thinking, please save me. You know, but yes, and sometimes it's just good to just try something different, you know. Probably eventually I'll try more traditional actual dating sites where you pay, but obviously being asexual, hating sex myself personally, a lot of the time, you know, you're paying for stuff that is not going to be of any use because a lot of them, you know, they want sex even if they're paying for a dating site, you know. So that's kind of like really hard then, I think. But you know, I think that everyone deserves love and I think everyone deserves honesty, you know, and I hope that you don't encounter any of these people that just try and use you, abuse you for money, for visas, for getting into a country. I don't even know how these people perceive they can get into their country. I mean, obviously with marriage, you know, that is one of the, well, pretty much most foreign guys know that if they marry someone in the UK, they can get a visa. They have to usually stay married for 5 years, and then after 5 years, they get a divorce, and then obviously they go and do what the hell they want. That's what happens. Like one of my cousins, she works in a hotel, and hello if she's watching, and she tells me the truth that a lot of the foreign guys that work there in the past, you know, they would literally marry older women in the UK and then they would divorce them after like 5 years so they could stay in the UK specifically, not because they actually loved the woman. And it's really disgusting, but they did it. A lot of them did it, she told me. But I won't get married. I don't want to get married. I don't want to live with a guy. And I don't want to cook and clean for a guy. I don't want to do any of that anyway, you know? I really don't. And so, you know, I just think marriage in general these days, the majority of the time, is like it's a death wish. I probably shouldn't say that, but it's like, yeah, if you want your life to die, just get married. I don't think that's true for everyone. I know some really happily married couples. My parents, and my asexual friend John to his beautiful wife, and there's a couple of entrepreneurs that have gone abroad now to live. They are really happily married. And so that is not true for everyone. There are some people that still hold those values dear and really cherish the one they're with and love them dearly. But, personally, I just think that, if you tie yourself into a contract with someone and they do change, which a lot of these guys do change, for example, it's just no good. You end up being financially trapped, mentally, emotionally trapped, and you end up having to have a costly divorce. And if someone loves you anyway, you don't need a piece of paper to prove it. Do you know what I mean? You don't need that. And like one of the guys of the dating group, Indian guy, messaged me and he goes, "Oh, but you can have love and caring if you get married." I'm like, I can have that anyway. You don't have to get married to someone to have that. It's ridiculous. And I think in some ways, like, you have to be more disciplined if you're not married to be faithful to that person, especially if you don't live with them. You have to be kind of like more dedicated, more into them, because it's not as easy as just seeing them every single day, being in the same house in terms of like easily accessing seeing them. Do you know what I mean? You have to kind of make arrangements. You have to have some of your stuff at their place. They have to have some of their stuff at your place. You have to kind of like negotiate times to see each other. You have to have your own life as well as intermingling your lives together. And so, it can be, I think, quite a challenge if you live separately. But I think that can be a beauty of it as well. Living separately, by the way, but being in a relationship is called a living apart together relationship, known as an LAT. Now, years ago, there was an article in a newspaper and it said 10% of the UK population has LATs, living apart together relationships. And, this is like in the UK, predominantly people are heterosexual. So it wasn't a case of, oh, this is written from an asexual point of view. This was written as, like 10% of the UK population. And so therefore, it's not just something that asexual would consider. There's heterosexuals that don't live together and they're married, some of them as well. And some of them have got kids, and it's perfectly fine. Sometimes people just need their space and they actually work better as separate, separate entities, but coming together as one at the same time. So that's my favorite personal type of relationship, where you have a living apart together relationship, where you live apart from each other, but see each other each week and converse regularly, because I just like my space. I'm used to living on my own. I think it's a lot safer for both people to just be committed to each other without actually living together. You've got your own space, you can have your own friends around, sort your own lives out, but also make arrangements to see each other, like proper dates, have quality time together rather than quantity, make those times really count. I particularly prefer it if the guy lived near me but not with me, so that we can see each other every week. And so 2 or 3 times maybe a week. 2 to 3 is usually ideal for me because I have lots of stuff to do, but can also converse a lot, and be there for each other if we're poorly and stuff, if we live nearby. And sometimes we might just want to go out on extra dates and stuff, and if there's a movie on, if the person lives near you, you can kind of like go then and stuff like that. So that's all really good. So that's my favorite type of relationship. I want a guy who's got his own money, got his own place, got his own transportation, or can come by train or bus or walk if he lives nearby, and someone who's is very independent but also very, very romantic, very, very dedicated and into me, very, very sincere and loyal and faithful, but he's got all his own food that he pays for, his own bills, own home, own job, own transport if he wants to have transport, and and then I have my own place and pay my own bills and stuff. I don't want to share household bills. I absolutely hated that when I lived with someone, sharing household bills. It was one of the worst things. I don't like doing that. I like to have my money and do what I want when I want. Hi Fiola, lots of love to you. I'm gonna have to go though. I was just about to go because I've got my food in the oven, and I don't want it to be burnt. So, but yes, I was saying that I had a marriage proposal from a Bangladesh guy from the Indian group, because he said, "Are you asexual?" And I said, "Yes." And he's like, "Me too. Will you marry me?" And I'm like, "No, Thank you for the offer, but I already wrote in my post I don't want to get married, but clearly after a visa. But yeah, so I'm just saying in this video to be aware of these type of guys that want a visa. Yeah, I've got to go because I've got my food in the oven. I usually have my food first, but I was doing stuff late. Yeah, really, Fiola. I had an actual marriage proposal today. Like, will you marry me? The actual words, full on out. I have been asked by other guys in that group as well, like about marriage. Like, oh, you know, we can get married. I'm like, no, no, no. Like, even when I put on the post, I don't want marriage. I don't want kids. What am I making for food? I've got fish with lots of different vegetables in the oven, which should be cooked by now because I've been in the oven for over 35 minutes, nearly 40 minutes. So, yes. But I wanted to just do this video because I wanted people to be aware of these type of guys that lie, that change what they say to lie as well, and have conflict. You know, they basically say they are one way, and then like this guy said, oh, about marriage, and I said, no, I don't want marriage, I don't like it. And then he was like, oh, I don't like marriage either. I'm like, clearly you do because you're just going on about it, you know. So yeah, beware of all these type of guys. Yes, I'm gonna go and enjoy my food now. Thank you, Fiona, for actually being here at the end. Hopefully you'll watch the replay. Thank you, Megan, as well. Megan has some good news earlier because she's got a date. So I wish Megan the best with that. And thanks everyone else for tuning in tonight. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to my channel and hit the bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live. Right now, post a new video. Theola's going to watch the replay. And please watch the replay if you haven't been here live. Lots of love. Take care. Stay super ace, and I'll see you soon. Lots of love. Bye.